Okay, I think we'll get started. Again, my name is Natalie Dow, and I am a VAPA STEM teacher at the Virtual Academy this year. But I've been with the district a long time. I think this is my 13th year with the district, and I obviously am in my visual arts unit right now in VAPA. If you look at my classroom, it's all changed to art everything. But I love Peardeck. We use Peardeck in our VAPA program, and it's been a really great tool for distance learning. We were looking for something that was that fostered engagement, that was fun, and also was something that we could use for assessment and in checking for understanding as well. And Peardeck has done that for us. We also had a special situation when we started distance learning too, that some of our VAPA teachers were doing a 2-week schedule with their students, and so one of the weeks was asynchronous, and so they had to teach a whole lesson and have activities for them completely asynchronously. And so Peardeck would enable that as well. Kids were able to go in and learn, click to the next slide, watch videos, and respond in lots of different ways using Peardeck. So I think it's a great tool. I used Peardeck in the presentation I did in the summer about planning your first days of school. And that was a lot of fun, and I got a lot of great feedback from that as well. So I decided to do a session for the Tech Cafe as well. So let's get started. So first of all, I want to add that I will be asking you to switch back and forth from Zoom to Peardeck during this session. So I just want to point out, if you get lost and if you're in Peardeck and you're trying to get back to your Zoom screen can be found by clicking the blue icon at the bottom with the white camera, the bottom of your taskbar of your laptop, and then if you want to go back to your Peardeck slide, you just look for our little Perry right here. They literally call him Perry, and this little pear guy at the top, and one of your tabs will have that if you're on a laptop or PC. So, so we'll be switching back and forth, but not yet. Right now, I'll just be sharing my slides. Okay, so that's for later. So this is my slide deck that I made for this presentation. Just a couple things. I know Megan said not to make slides, but it's so hard not to make slides, especially since Peardeck 101 is, Peardeck is an add-on to Google Slides. So if you've never heard of an add-on before, they can be found in your menu. So I'm in Google Slides right now, and I'm going to go to add-ons. And if you want to get an add-on, you just click get add-ons, and there's a whole menu with thumbnails of lots of add-ons trying to get your attention and be added. So lots of things that you can add to Google Slides to increase the functionality of them and do some cool stuff too with your Google Slides. I do want to point out that Peardeck is very similar to Nearpod. So if you've ever used that before, they're almost the same product. I have more familiarity with Peardeck, and so that's what I use. But you can see it's already installed for me. Now I have my Peardeck window open. I'm going to close it. So if I want to turn my slides into interactive slides for my students, I would go to my add-ons and I would say open Peardeck add-on. And that's really the only add-on I have. There would be more there if I had more add-ons, but I would just choose Peardeck. And it opens up this little window, like the mission control for Peardeck, and that's where you're going to add more functionality and interactivity into your slides. And you don't have to make all your slides interactive. You can choose just a few. I already have one done, so this is the draw your face activity. I love this because I ask kids to use the tools in Peardeck to draw how they're feeling today. So I tell them, we usually do, what's your feeling number in our classes. So I said, think about your feeling number, think about why you're feeling that way, and then show that expression on your face. And if you're excited about something, maybe you can put it in the background or put a hat on you, anything like that. So I do include the name box because I had a premium account with Peardeck, and then it was a trial, and then it ran out. So now I'm using the free version, and that means no student logins. I don't get to see my kids' names or the logins in each of their submissions when they do some work on a slide. So they're anonymous. So I just have them include their name. That's how I kind of get away with not having a premium account. Okay, so I'm going to add another slide here. Now you can actually make anything interactive. Sometimes I make the first slide interactive. These blue buttons over here are the interactive features that you can include. The top row are free and the bottom two are only with premium. I'm going to tell you a little secret though. This one is a draw slide, and it is a premium feature, but back when I was doing the summer presentation, I had the trial, and so I made draw slides, and now I just copy those slides and I drop them in my new slides. And as long as this bar is here, then it's going to be Peardeck interactive. And don't worry, we're going to go into a Peardeck right now and you'll see what I mean by interactive and tools and how kids can answer and things like that.
Natalie,
I'm a fun tip. Yeah.
Can I ask a question, Natalie? This is Kim.
Yeah, I can.
So do you have to know how to do Google Slides in order to use Peardeck?
Yes, there is a Peardeck add-on for Google Docs, but that's pretty much it. But actually, okay, that's wrong. Peardeck has a deck of slides that are already pre-made, and you can do that and present those to your kids. You don't have to like create a Google slide first and then make it interactive. You can actually just have start a presentation and you can drop some of their pre-made slides in that have interactive features and the kids answer. I'm going to show you that actually right now. So I already have this done. I'm going to show you how I would use a Peardeck slide. Well, first I'm going to show you how to make a regular slide interactive. So I'm going to make this a text option. So I'm going to put that in here. Okay, so it's just, I chose the ABC text. So now I see that there's a bar here. And when I start my Peardeck session, now it's gonna open another tab, but kids are gonna go into another app, or if they're on iPads, or another tab if they're on Chromebooks. And they're gonna be able to respond to this. And I'll show you what that looks like on the student end in just a minute. I'm actually going to erase this because when we go in there, I want you to be interacting with different slides. Okay, so I also can go from a library of pre-made slides from Peardeck. So after this slide, I'm going to choose a random one. This. So I selected this one. It's one that I use often. So now I see in slide 4, it's inserted its own slide there, and the kids are going to see this. It's an interactive slide, draw or type 2 things you already know about today's topic. So that's going to be an interactive slide. Now I have my slide deck. I have not interactive, not interactive, 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 and the rest are not interactive. Okay, so we're gonna start a session and you're gonna see what I'm talking about, because I know it's hard unless you've actually played the student and tried this out. So this is how I run my sessions. I set up, I make sure the little Peardeck bars are on the interactive slides that I want. I have 2 currently, this one and this one. And I'm gonna start my session. And it's gonna ask me if I want student paced, that's asynchronous, or do I want instructor paced, which is synchronous. And I want instructor paced because I wanna control the slides. It's a live session, right? So I'm gonna click that. It's gonna load. And load, and load. Sometimes it takes a long time. Okay, so now I want you to think about Zoom for the rest of the time we're together or when we're using our Peardeck session anyway. Like, this is our old Promethean projectors in our classrooms. When you're in the Zoom screen like you are right now, you are seeing what I am projecting to you. That's kind of like our Promethean boards, right? Our smart boards in our classroom. So you also have your device. So think about a classroom of kiddos on their devices at their desks. So that's like the tab you're going to open up right now. So you can display it this way. You can have kids open up, and you can do this right now, open a tab and say joinpd.com and then type in this code, or you can give them a link in the chat. I always do that. I always open the chat and I give them the link. So if you look in your chat right now, I have an app.peardeck.com/student, blah, blah, blah. Click on that and you'll go right into the presentation. It's gonna ask you when you open that up, how are you feeling today? That's the default question. Choose happy or meh or sad. And if you're staying with me on Zoom, you're looking at the teacher view. And I tell kids, if you're not comfortable going to Peardeck, or Peardeck doesn't work, or if it freezes when you try to open that link, just stay with me. And you're gonna be looking at the teacher view. It's the same content, but they won't have any interactivity besides using the chat. Okay, and that does happen. I do have some students that, Wi-Fi issues, or they're just not comfortable with tech, or whatever it is, they just stay with me in Zoom. And they will still learn everything. They just won't have the interactive features that Peardeck has. Okay, I see I have 35 students connected, so I'm gonna start class. So you're not
Natalie, quickly, I have a question.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So then do you tell the kids to leave your meeting after they click on the link then?
No, good point. You stay in Zoom. And
okay.
So just like I'm going to switch your slide. So I teach them this first. So switching back and forth between Zoom and Peardeck, they have to have that skill. And it looks different on an iPad, but I figured most of you were on laptops, so they have to know how to find Zoom again, and then how to get back to Peardeck. They still hear me when they're in Peardeck, but I control their slides just like I am right now. So if you're in your Peardeck tab, so little Perry will be up here. So here's mine. Then I control the slides. So I'm going to switch to my first slide, and I'm switching because it's instructor led. So, and that's true for Zoom too. So if kids are unable to go to Peardeck, they're seeing everything that the kids are seeing. They just don't have the interactive features. So let's do our first interactive slide. So you're gonna actually draw your face. So boys and girls, we're gonna take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth. I'm doing my teacher thing now. We're gonna take 10 seconds of think time, and we're gonna think about our feeling, how we're feeling today on a scale of 1 through 10. 10 is the best day of your life. 1 is the worst day of your life. Most of us are gonna be somewhere in between. Once you have your number, I want you to think about, how would I express that in a facial expression? So if you're happy, I want you to draw a happy face. If you're sad, I want you to draw a sad face. If you're excited about going to the park, maybe you're in the background, you're gonna draw a park. Okay. So that's what I tell my kiddos, because they're used to the 1 through 10 routine, and then I throw this in sometimes just to mix it up. And then I always remind them to add their name. Okay. So here's where we're switching, and this is the really important step of distance learning. I have an ability to share my responses, but you have to be in Zoom to see that. So if you click back on Zoom, I'm going to show all the responses of our classroom. So if you want kids to see each other's work, then you would do this switch where you would have them click on Zoom and so they can see the teacher screen. And then you have to scroll, especially if there's a lot of kids in your class. There is a lot of participants in the session today. So I'm going to scroll up and down to show the responses. Okay, so you guys did a great job. Nice job. All right. So
Natalie, I have a quick question. Do the kids just interact? They don't have to press submit or anything, and it should show on yours?
Yeah, it is live. So if I scroll down to the bottom and someone's still drawing, I'll literally see them drawing even on this screen.
Okay, so I don't see mine. Did I do something incorrect there?
No, it should be somewhere on here. Are you sure?
Yeah, let me double check.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I drew mine. I even typed my name, but I don't see it on yours.
It might be a little bit of a lag.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's if you want to show responses. Now you can have them stay in Peardeck and you can look at their responses. There's also different views of the responses if you need to see them closer. And then this is the overlay. This would be for other activities. There is a draggable feature where you have them drag their icons to like the yes or the no or the happy face or the sad face, and it will overlay all of them, and it shows kind of like data, like doing a chart of responses. So this is everyone's drawing on top of each other, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so let's see, what else do I want to show you? We're running out of time. Okay, so this is one of the pre-made slides that Peardeck provides for you. And this one is, I put it as draw, I mean, we're on the slide. You can also drop slides in. Let's say I'm like, oh, I forgot to put a slide in here. Oh, I wanted to do a KWL really quick. So I can just drop one in while we're doing the session. And then kids will be able to use the type feature there and put it in there. Now, when you're done, you can end the session. Sometimes I say, okay, come back to Zoom, kiddos. We're gonna finish up in Zoom, and then they don't come back. So I just end the session. And you can name it, the date and the purpose or something. And then you'll say, all right, come back to Zoom, everybody. We're gonna finish up in Zoom. If you want to. Sometimes I do my whole session in Peardeck, and then we start off in Zoom, we go to Peardeck, and when we end there. So again, the trick is that there are premium features and there are free features. So the draw and the draggable are premium, the text and multiple choice, and then number, which is like if you give them a couple options and they just choose, kind of like when we had those A, B, and C, and D cards to practice test prep, and then you can push out a website, but that's mostly for asynchronous, because if they're, they're all going to be watching that website or video at a different time. So,
Natalie, can you please show us again how to end the session?
You know what? I already ended it. So at the bottom of your teacher screen, it just says end session.
Okay.
And then if you want to go back and look at the responses, remember I had them put their number on there. I think I'm out of time, but you can actually go to peardeck.com and you can log in and it will have a list of all of your sessions that you've ran recently. So, but that requires the teacher login. That's free. There are other features. So here's my session list here. And this is the one that we just did. And if I wanted to go back and check out your answers, I could do that for assessment and, you know, to get a second look, things like that. So there are, again, if you want them to be logged in, you actually have the ability to get feedback. There's all kinds of cool features that I didn't show you. So that some of them are premiums. I wanted to, if you're staying with me, you can go, I'll go through them really quick. So free on the top, the show responses is free. Look, having all your sessions and the Peardeck website is free.
Are you having another session?
No, I'm not. This is my last session.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Natalie, question.
No problem.
When you share the link, do you share it view only or students can edit?
Share the link. So when you share the link to your session, you control it in Peardeck. So you can post the link, they log on, but it won't start changing your slides unless you start the session and you change them. So they won't have access to any of your slides or be able to change them. They only have access to the interactive features that you have already preloaded on Peardeck.
Thanks, Natalie. Appreciate it.
Sure. No problem. Hi, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Any questions?
Natalie, I had a question.
Mm-hmm.
When you're on your slides and you've added it as an add-on, how do you get it to show up in the sidebar?
Okay, so I'll show you really quick. So you just start. So I'm going to go to this is my slides. I haven't started my session yet. I'm going to go to add-ons and I'm going to say, and then it'll show up here in your add-ons list. And then you just say open and it will open.
Okay, it's not showing up for me. It shows up. It says, oh, there it is. Okay, it's taking a minute. Okay, thank you, Natalie.
No problem. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.